Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about accessing the Genesys Cloud CX, the different type of interfaces that we have available. Now you can access Genesys Cloud CX from your computer desktop via any supported web browser such as Google Chrome or any other browser that you might have. Now there are certain Genesys Cloud desktop client application available for Windows or Mac as well. Now you can also use apps that are available on Android or iOS devices. Now to access Genesys Cloud, you would go to your URL, login.mypurecloud.com, and then provided with your username and password, you will be able to log in. When you go to your Genesys Cloud URL, the default region is set to US East. Now it is mandatory to select a correct region before you enter a credential. If you're not sure which region you belong to, you may want to talk to your administrator. Now, these are some of the supported regions that are available for Genesys, for example. Now, mobile device such as Android or iOS is supported. However, for mobile devices, the Genesys Cloud offers the following application: Collaborate, which is for user profiles and data. You got Communicate, which is a device that can be used to telephony device that be used to communicate with each other. You got the Tempo and the Supervisor. Now the Supervisor is only supported in iPad only, so if you are using Android users, you will not have that feature available to you. If you're using an iOS based device, then these are the four options that you have or applications. But if you're using the Android supported, only the first three is supported because the Supervisor is iPad only. Now for logging, when you navigate to the CX URL, you'll enter your username and password and the organization name as instructed by your CX administrator. If you are assigned to more than one organization, then you want to select from the drop-down list which one you want to connect to. Now, so chances are that you might have multiple account where you want to administer one or more companies that you might have. Then once you log in, it's going to give you two options. Do you want to go to the Collaborate and Communicate, which is more focused on Collaborate and Communicate, more focused on the user's data and of course the devices. Architect, where it is basically used to create your flows and system prompts and contact center related stuff. So Genesys Cloud consists of the single user interface for all these features though. User can view active calls in a single interface that will let you switch easily between them or drag and drop to create a conference. If you navigate elsewhere in the application, a floating widget will appear that call control will remain immediately accessible. So in case if you go somewhere else and that a floating toolbar comes up, so that you can still access some of the call control features that you may need to either do your day-to-day tasks. Now for the client user interface, after you log into Genesys Cloud CX, you'll be redirected to the landing page. Your landing page reflects based on your role and the permissions assigned to you. And it may have information about your name, your pictures, and what group membership you belong to, whether it is official or social. So when you create a group, you could have an official group, like let's say sales support team as a group, or a social group could be, let's say, I don't know, party planner team, something like that. It tells you what is you own or not, your contact information, your location, and any relationship. So if you have a manager you report to, you might see that relationship here. You might see your colleague who are peer to you as listed under your peer. Now this is your admin interfaces. User with an admin interface can view many different options here. The configuration features are all grouped into containers. As you can see, accessibility, people and organization, directory, telephony, very similar to like AWS web interface, kind of reminds me of that. So this is where you basically access different area of the configurations. So if you want to change telephony related settings, for example, you want to add a queue or you want to add anything to do with skills, then you want to go to the contact center container. If you want to upload a document, you want to go to the document container right about there. The number of containers and features in admin interface will depend on your role though. So if I'm logging with a limited role, I may not see all these features. But if I have a full access, I will see all these features in my list. Now, roles are permission. Roles are objects assigned to users that grant them access to different features of the Genesys Cloud CX. Each role in Genesys Cloud contains one or more permissions. Permissions allow user to perform certain tasks. Whether you have a read-only permissions, read and write permissions, read only to certain area, write to certain other area, for example. Employee has the lowest level of permission and assigned to all the Genesys CS users. Admin role, on the other hand, has a permission to make any changes to Genesys Cloud CX organization. This role is automatically assigned to the user responsible for deploying and installing Genesys Cloud organization. Now, this person is responsible for inviting others to Genesys Cloud organization and assign role to the invitee. All right, so that's the web interfaces that are available to us in terms of how we can access your Genesys platform. Like I said, this is basically the pure cloud interface, where single interface is used for both the client and the admin. Depending on the admin, what privilege you will have will depend on your role and the permission that is set to your role. All right, so that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next.